Hi there, Howard Tinker here from Restaurant Profits, and one of the great things about opening up, which New South Wales is starting to do, is that you are going to get hit by a landslide of people that want to come out. So you are going to be overwhelmed by the amount of people that want to come into your place. So I thought what would be great is to give you a few quick tips on how to make the most of this. So first things first, I think you should keep things simple. So I think you should make sure that you've got a very easy menu for your back of house to be able to create and for your front of house to be able to sell. I wouldn't get into having a full-on massive menu that's going to cause a lot of work for everybody, because the thing that I've seen when we've opened up before is people are unforgiving. If you can't fulfill your promise, like you can't get out the food in time, and there's stumbles and missteps because your front of house staff are rusty in what they're doing, people will not forgive you. They have no idea of how difficult it is for all your moving parts to work together in order to give people a great experience. And they are not likely to go away and say, oh, well, never mind, they've only been open a couple of days. They're going to go away and potentially give you a bad review. So in order for you to make the most of this, don't overcomplicate things. Keep things very simple. Keep a simple menu. Make sure everybody knows what they're doing, and therefore you're not going to have any missteps and poor interaction between staff and your customers. And then no way that people are going to give you a bad review, because those bad reviews stay there. And in the future, when we're all past this COVID thing, and people look back at your reviews, they're not going to say, oh, that was a few days after New South Wales opened up. The other thing is, because you are probably not going to have big specials and things like that on straight away, it's really important that your staff know how to upsell and cross-sell. So to get people to buy an extra drink or a bottle of wine, or make sure they get a dessert, that kind of thing. The reason for that is you want maximum spend in the restaurant. The 4 square meter rule is still going to apply, which means you can't have as many people in the restaurant, yet you're going to have to staff it at a high enough rate in order to provide good service and hospitality. So in order that you're going to make money, you can't just sell straight off the menu. You've got to sell other things in order to bump up that spend per head while they're in there. Otherwise, you are going to be working for break even or worse. And again, people don't understand this. They won't let you off the hook because you're understaffing, because there's smaller numbers of them coming in. They're going to expect exactly the same quality of food, exactly the same quality of service, despite the fact that because of the low numbers, you are going to be potentially running at a loss. So it's very important that you talk to your team about what you want them to sell. Pre-dinner drinks, extra glasses of wine, a bottle of wine, desserts, and so on. So make sure that people are going to spend a lot while they're in there. The other thing is, you're potentially not going to need to do as much marketing as normal, because, as I said, you are going to be hit by a wave of people who want to come in. So you'll have no trouble in filling your seats and even having a waiting list for people coming in. However, this is a great time to get people onto your database, because once this is over, once this honeymoon period is over, people will go back to their normal way of life. We are coming up to the silly season. We're not that far away from Christmas, and straight after Christmas, what tends to happen in Australia is people go on holiday. So if you've got a beachfront restaurant, great. If you don't have a beachfront restaurant, people are going to go off to the beach. They're going to travel around New South Wales. If we're allowed to travel interstate or overseas, they're going to do that. And so things are going to get quiet in January and early February. And this is when you need your database in order to be able to attract and invite people in. So make sure right now, while it's busy, you do collect a database. People are used to QR codes. If you're working with us, great. We can create a form that's linked to a QR code to join your birthday club or to win something or whatever it is, we can create a code that goes to a form, they'll fill in their details. If you're not working with us, that's the kind of thing that you've got to work out. How do you get something that they can fill it in easily, they can give their data over to you, you can have it in your email program, and the thing to do is to make sure that you promise them something that they'd really like to have in exchange for their details. Of course, on the back end of all of that, you need to have an email program, you need to have events coming up, such as Melbourne Cup and Christmas and Valentine's Day and so on, that you can promote. So make sure that you build the database now while people are in your place, and then when the honeymoon period is over and it goes back to being fairly up and down, then you can invite people in and fill your place again. And then finally, linked to this is make sure that you foreshadow what's coming next. So from a movie's point of view or a book point of view, people foreshadow what's coming, and they drop little hints into movies, they drop them into books so that you keep reading and keep watching. You really need to start foreshadowing what comes next. You're going to be overwhelmed, obviously, by the opening up because people are going to be coming in, but you need to remind them that there's Halloween, there's Melbourne Cup, there are Christmas functions, there's Christmas parties, there's Christmas gift vouchers, there's Australia Day, there's New Year's, there's Valentine's Day, and so on coming up. So you need to foreshadow those things so that people have it in their mind when somebody says, where are you going for Christmas, for your Christmas party, where are you going for Melbourne Cup, that you are on their mind. So even though you're probably not going to be sending out marketing, you want to make sure that you've got flyers, posters, table talkers in your venue that allows people to know that things are going to be coming up, and also obviously on your websites and social media. So there's 4 tips for you for opening up. Number 1, keep it simple. Number 2, make sure that your staff upsell and cross-sell. Number 3, make sure you grow a list. And number 4, foreshadow what's coming up. I hope that's been useful. If you need help with any of that, get in touch with us at the website at restaurantprofits.com.au.